So you got your Walking Deads, you got your Game of Thrones, you got your Vikings, and American Gods. All really great series that are trickling away. What are we missing? What would make good TV? I got one for you. HBO, if you're listening. Hmm. You ready? So, who the heck are these people and why would they make great TV? Well, it helps if you're into period pieces and somewhat erotic scenery. These two lovebirds in front of you are Justinian and Theodora. Now, this little chat isn't their bio. That would just take way too long, but more of a pitch. A TV series pitch. Yeah, I said it. To, whoever's listening, actually. I'll take HBO, Showtime, whatever. I'm just enlightening everyone who's listening, pretty much. I don't expect nothing from this, but it would be nice, if they could bring these two individuals to TV. So, in short, Justinian was this nobody from the Balkans, right? Handyman kind of guy, whatever. He made it to Constantinople to, better his career. See, this story kind of practically writes itself. All true. His uncle, Justin, former imperial bodyguard, and he became emperor himself. So he goes and adopts his, nephew, Justinian, and gives him a great education, and soon after that, Justinian becomes emperor himself. This was because his uncle, was pretty up in age, getting senile, and, Justinian was just more ambitious. And by ambitious, I mean this guy really takes the cake here. The whole being in charge thing of the empire, he took it very seriously. He pulled his weight, not militarily. He did that with a lot of really good generals. He was good at picking people for the right spot. He didn't, you know, get any action on the battlefield himself per se, but he just kind of knew the right people. Same thing with politics. He picked the right people for the job, put it that way. He commissioned a lot of buildings. In fact, the one you probably see today in Turkey, the Hagia Sophia, that was him. He did that. He didn't actually build it. I mean, he hired people, constructed it, said it came to him in a dream, and it was at the time one of the greatest Orthodox churches in the world. Still standing. Um, so he's deeply involved, like in chariot races, politics of all sorts. There was like these two teams, kind of like teams today, except they were killers, the blue and the greens, and they were like competing against each other. And he would play his respected side, and all this happened in the Hippodrome. Think of the Hippodrome, it's a lot like a gladiator arena, kind of like the Colosseum in Rome, just different. Um, oh, he also pushed back the Persians. That was the empire's pretty much eternal enemy at the time, and he reconquered whatever was lost during. So this is like years after Rome fell in the west. This is the East Empire I'm talking about. Near Asia Minor and all that jazz. Yeah, so he, pretty much him and his, not him personally, but his generals that he picked out for the job, reconquered all of Italy, but all of Italy, parts of Spain, North Africa, and so on and so forth. There's a whole lot of lost provinces, and he just kind of got them all back for the empire. But what made him really special was his choice of wife, Theodora. So instead of some fancy princess, he picked a cute girl from a brothel. That's right. She was, in a modern sense, a lady of the night. But she had so many other talents. She was an actress, dancer, yada, yada, yada. She was born in Cyprus. Her mom, was a dancer and actress, same thing. Obviously, very sexual. She performed, did everything, you would see in a modern day brothel. Her father was a trainer in the Hippodrome. Um, he had, various, I guess, like tasks of getting horse riders and, I guess, fighters up to par. Didn't really go into detail, what kind of trainer he was, but that was her dad. Weird combination, I know. One story states that when the plague hit, that's the Black Plague, the Justinian plague, kind of knocked out like half the continent. Um, it put old Justinian in a coma, so he was out. But Theodora was still around, and she became boss lady for some time. Oh, and there was this riot, right, between the blues and the greens, and it was just crazy. It was horrible. People were like killing each other. This all happened in Constantinople, by the way, and they nearly killed Justinian. He was actually about to flee, but Theodore was like, no, you better stay here and show them people you mean business." And you know what? That little pep talk, he got his shit together. Yeah. She made an impression on him, to say the least, and influenced at least some of his decision making. So she was kind of a big deal, coming from that kind of low class background to becoming the freaking empress. Pretty impressive, and I think would make great TV. I mean, the man broke rules. He married a lady of the night by changing, up them rules to make it, work for him. So, yeah, the guy was cunning. Yeah, two polar opposites. Their lifestyles completely different, and they met in this crazy Byzantine world, and they ruled successfully. But think of the potential here. You had violence, warfare, political intrigue, and a whole lot of sex, and a bunch of palace double crossing. So anything that would normally happen, like say the Borgias, they're pretty controversial. The Lorenzo de Medici, his gang, all these controversial figures you hear in Europe, you really don't hear about Justinian and Theodora. And I think it's time. Like I said, this is just me, pitching an idea here. I doubt this will ever, reach anyone of high stature. It would be nice if someone tackled this. I would definitely give you guys credit. But I think it would sell. People like, think of it like Game of Thrones without the dragons. Sure, there's no dragons, but I mean, there's everything else. I think it would personally make good TV. Because what is good TV, anyways? You get drama, action, and just straight up confidence in itself. Plus, there's a whole lot of emotion, and this was an era of change, and a lot happened, and it definitely to be like a fly on the wall during this time and see the stuff that went down between these great monumental fights, double crossing in the palace and betrayals, more violence, more sex. Like I said, it kind of writes itself, so it never gets boring. Um, these are all my opinions. I don't know. Maybe you guys want to see something else, but you know. But hey, I think it's a great historic story that definitely needs to be revisited in today's world, much like the Byzantines themselves, who were lost to the West, you could say, and they definitely deserve a resurrection. And there you have it, guys. Thanks for listening. And, if you know any big shot producers, please don't be shy. All right, guys. Until next time, peace.